I noticed the tan.
Yes.
Awesome tan. What
Thank
were
you.
you doing this summer?
Well, I've been down fishing a little bit in Key Largo, and just relaxed a little bit before we, training camp. So just trying to get my legs underneath me, and now it's back to work though. So happy to be back in San Antonio, and hopefully, I'll be able to maintain a little bit of my tan.
Did you catch anything good while you were fishing?
We did. We caught about a 7-foot lemon shard, and caught some amberjack. I actually did a little bit of spearfishing this time.
Oh, really?
So I was snorkeling, and it was fun. It was fun.
Spearfishing.
Yeah, I got a big grouper.
Okay.
So it was really cool.
Maybe we should do a story with you one day, fishing with Becky Hammon.
You should, because that's one of the things. It's one of the things I love to do. And actually, the being able to free dive and spearfish and stuff. That's just a lot of fun for me.
Coming off of, we'll go to basketball now. Coming off of last season, of course, not a good season for you guys. What are your expectations heading into this year?
We have a lot of turnover. We got a lot of new faces. So I think early on we want to be just improving every day. I think we're going to be a very good defensive team this year. Typically in the past, when we've had successful teams, we've been very good and sound defensively. Last year we got away from it a little bit. Our defense wasn't what we wanted it last year, but we're getting that back. And so we've always been a team, like I said in the past, where our defense created some offense for us. So I think you're going to see a lot of runouts. We got some great defenders in Danielle Robinson, Shalonda, Tully. So we got some people that could really get up and pressure the basketball.
Was that lack of defense you guys like to play, was that due to maybe a coaching staff philosophy, change perhaps? I mean, I wouldn't think so since, she was under Coach Hughes, or is it just injuries or just a bunch of stuff?
I think it's probably last year was one person's fault. I think everybody has to take a responsibility for our season. First thing you have to do is go back and look at yourself. Where can I become better? And so I think, we were a little bit older team, so you didn't have that energy, that defensive energy. We got a lot of energy in the gym right now, so that creates great defensive energy, and then we translate that into offense. So I don't think it's any one thing. I know Coach Hughes is a defensive guy, so first thing, and Coach Johnson, is a defensive person, so there's just such a huge amount of emphasis put on it, and we really have personnel now that we can get up and play that kind of pressure defense. I don't know if last year we had that kind of personnel.
Speaking of that, how is it to have Coach Hughes back this year?
It's been great. I mean, his presence demands a lot of effort and respect, and I think, one of his comments, just breaking right here in this last huddle was, he hasn't had to coach effort, and that's huge.
Yeah.
For a coach not have to be harping on your effort, and that's a credit to these girls, their desire to work hard and try to make this team, and so we have some pieces we can work with.
How important do you think VJ is going to be on this staff as an assistant coach?
Well, obviously she brings a player perspective, but at the heart of VJ, she's always been a coach. She's a teacher of the game. She's somebody that looks at the game, obviously takes a defensive viewpoint of the game, but she's somebody that I know. She was in my ear for 9-10 years playing with her, and I know she's going to be in my ear, giving me little pointers, little tips here and there that I can definitely use to not only my advantage, but maybe getting my team, in certain spots. So she's a great asset, and she demands a lot too. I mean, she's going to tell you just how it is. If your effort or your feet positioning, she's kind of a somebody who's just on top of your footwork all the time defensively. So it's good because you need those reminders, especially early on in the season when you're getting back into the flow of things.
When you get a girl on the team like Danielle Robinson, she made all Big 12 defensive team all 4 years in college. When you get someone in here like that who is all about defense, is that something that's going to help motivate the rest of you guys, well, even though she's just a rookie?
Well, she's going to be a big piece for us. She might be a rookie, but we need her to grow up fast. She's and I go back to her presence, her pressure on the ball. That helps everything behind her. When you can put pressure on the ball like that, now all of a sudden on pin downs, when you're a second late, all of a sudden they can't deliver the ball to that shooter on time because she has such great ball pressure. So it's kind of a trickle-down effect that will feed off both her and Tully. in their defensive pressure, we'll be able to get in the passing lanes a little bit better because we'll have that second to recover when we're getting hit with screens. So I expect her to make maybe a big impact, and a lot of her impact will be stuff that you can't even really see on a stat sheet.
Danielle Adams, your other selection, coming off national championship with the Aggies. I mean, again, she's going to be a rookie, but she has championship experience. Is that something that she can translate easily into the pro game?
Well, obviously, she won at the college level. I think you have a lot of players that won on the college level.
Sure.
So she's still, at this point, I feel like she needs to still get in there and find her niche and get herself some separation from these other college players.
Okay.
So we got to get her in spots where she can be successful. She's got great touch. She's got good hands. So she's going to be called upon to do some things for us too. So I'm excited. I haven't really got to see her that much up and down. She's a little banged up right now, but I watched her throughout the NCAA tournament, and so she has leadership experience as well. So we got to bring that out of her a little bit. We got to get her out of her shell a little bit. She's a little quiet right now.
Obviously, having Jane Appel healthy, that's going to be huge for you guys going into the season.
Mm-hmm. Jane is someone who is got great passing ability. She's kind of a mover for us offensively. Just having Ruth back in the lineup too. They make such a big difference when they understand our system and they know what reads, and you're familiar with our personnel. So right now it's been a little bit of hodgepodge getting things to work offensively because everybody's learning something new. But as soon as you bring a couple vets in here that have run it and understand what we're looking for, the offense runs a lot smoother, and you can see that immediately. So hopefully, Jane's a little dinged up right now, so hopefully we can get her back on the court just as soon as possible.
From what you see out here, obviously not everybody's going to make the team, but do you feel you have the players to put together a championship team?
We're going to be a team. I think that we're going to have to be a great team. I don't think we don't have the Diana Taurasi, we don't have a Lauren Jackson, who we can just ride that player. We have to be great collectively. We have to make great reads to play together, making extra passes, and then we're going to go back to the whole philosophy of defense wins games. That's what we're going to be banking this season on is just being an absolutely sound and great defensive team, and then I think the winning will take care of itself. So I think we have some nice pieces. I think our season will depend greatly on how well we rebound the ball. So the last part about being a good defensive team, you have to rebound the basketball. If we rebound the ball, I think we'll give ourselves a good chance to win a lot of games and put ourselves in good position to get into the playoffs, and then to make our move.
Who are the teams in the Western Conference that we should be looking out for?
The usual suspects, Seattle, LA, Phoenix, Minnesota is going to be very good again. The West is tough, It's very similar on the NBA side. The West style, it's kind of a little bit of a run and gun style, where the East is more of a grinded out blue collar game. But there's not a lot of separation in our league. I think on any given night, any team has enough good players to beat you. If you don't play well, you're going to lose.
Speaking of the NBA, obviously the Western Conference is tough. Not a lot of difference between 1 and 8.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on Memphis upsetting the Spurs, at least seeding-wise, in the first round of the playoffs?
I think you have to give Memphis a lot of credit. I thought they peaked at the right time. It's about playing your best basketball at the right time. So everybody was disappointed, obviously. Spurs is a religion around here, and, so I felt for them. I felt for the guys because it's just so much work that you've put in during the regular season to just kind of go out like that. My heart hurt for them a little bit. Hopefully, they'll get it back together, though, and stay healthy. I think health is always an issue for any team.
Sure.
And, I think Memphis, they played better down the stretch. They closed out games really well. Zach Randolph was a beast.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough. Sometimes matchups, you talk about a 1 and 8, sometimes you just match up bad with the team. And that might have been the case this year for the Spurs.
And the last thing, did you hear Tony's comments yesterday about he doesn't think the current roster can compete for an NBA championship, and has obviously some Spurs fans a little upset. Some are like, no, that's the truth. They need some help. They need to get younger. What's your take on that statement?
Well, obviously, he's going to be taking a different look. He knows his team probably better than the average fan or somebody. So he's, I'm sure, just making a statement. Maybe the Spurs, I'm sure they're aware there's going to probably be some moves. I can't really speculate too much into their team decisions or what they're going to do personnel-wise. But obviously, nobody liked going out like that. Tony's obviously a tremendous competitor. I know just when we play, he's competitive. It doesn't matter who he's going against. He wants to win at everything. So, I'm sure he says that with the intent of he wants another championship. So, whatever buttons he has to push to get there, that's what he's going to do.
And you probably would expect, whether it's NBA, NFL, WNBA, that a superstar player, they don't feel the team's the right one to win a championship. And isn't that what a superstar should do? Is, hey, we need to get some help.
Yeah, I think they do need some help. I think that was one thing down the stretch. You can't beat teams with just 2 or 3 players. And I thought that the Spurs overall, I didn't watch a ton of games, obviously being over in another country. But the games I did saw, when they competed well, they had great contribution from the bench. And, they were a great team again. And, they just kind of fizzled out there at the end. So, Popovich, he's got it under control. I'm not sweating it. They'll do what they got to do. Their championship, they know what they're doing. Who am I to say, make this move? So they'll get it done. They'll get it done. They'll get another championship.
Awesome, Becky. Thank you for your time.
Thanks.